to me, I think AEW did everything right by Sting, including giving them the victory. A lot of times you don't see, it's usually them giving back. And I think this match wasn't technically Sting's forte, but it's kind of been his forte in AEW with Darby Allin. They've done the cinematic tag team matches. They've done a lot of tag team matches. Sting ends his 3-year run in AEW undefeated. I believe it was 30-0 with the win at Revolution. They had Lex Luger was at ringside, Nikita Koloff was at ringside, Magnum TA was at ringside, Scotty Riggs was at ringside. They brought in JR to do the match along with Tony Schiavone and Excalibur. Ric Flair, of course, was ringside. Ricky Steamboat came out as the guest timekeeper. So, they were all there as far as the support cast. And then Sting's music hits, and it was his Metallica theme. And then his son comes out dressed up as, the beach Sting, the blonde surfer Sting. Then his other son comes out as the Wolfpack Sting. And then you had Sting come out as, what he is now, the Crow, the black and white Sting. And I thought that intro was great. And I thought the beginning of the match was great, where they got the sons involved and they were all doing the Stinger splashes in the ring. And it just, again, because if you remember back in the AEW Dynamite, the Bucks left Sting's sons laying in the ring when they got him with the bats and all that. So it made sense. And kudos to them. They fight into the crowd. And while they're fighting into the crowd, the Sons have got their shine. And they just get out of the way. They get out of the way, go to the back to watch the rest of their dad's match. And then they battle through the crowd for a little bit. And then they finally work themselves back to the ring. And one of the most insane spots I have seen in quite a while. Darby Allin goes up to the top of the ladder, dives through the glass, and nothing but blood is coming out of his back. And you look at it and you're just sitting there like, oh. And there was another spot in that pay-per-view. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But to me, I understood the story of what they were trying to tell. Darby takes himself out of the match, and then the Young Bucks get control. They start beating down Sting a little bit. Then, of course, Sting makes the revival, starts coming back on him, and he actually gets thrown through glass as well, which is a bump I didn't think I'd see Sting take, but he took a bump in the corner through the glass. And it told a great story because Darby took himself out, but I didn't know, at what point is too much too much? I know he's leaving for a while, so maybe they use some of this as, part of the storyline going forward for Darby. I know he's going to climb Mount Everest. So maybe some of this will be fed into it. The jump there. And I know he got 12 stitches, I believe they said, on his shoulder there. If you watched it, there was a deep cut in his shoulder. And then just where the glass, got into his back, it was just blood coming from everywhere on Darby Allin in that match. It seemed like an extreme spot. I understood the story of him taking him out so that it was the Bucks beating up on Sting. Sting keeps coming back, the never say die. And then Darby finally comes back into the match. Coffin drop. And the other thing is the Young Bucks, they did the thing where they're staring at Sting when he's he's coming at them and he says, I think they said, F you, we don't love you, or whatever. And then they kicked them instead of what Shawn Michaels said, I'm sorry, I love you. That's right. They said, we're not sorry, we don't love you. Then they super kick Sting. Sting goes back a little bit, wobbles up, and then from there it was on as Sting finally locks in the double Scorpion Deathlock, or locks in the Scorpion Deathlock after the coffin. He did lock in a double Scorpion Deathlock early in the match, but they got out of it. And Sting and Darby retain. And then they start to do, and this is the part where I don't know where the signals got crossed. Sting started doing his farewell kind of speech, and the pay-per-view just cuts off at 12. That's it. They no more time. Boom, they're cut off. And of course, they do it for the people in the Greensboro Coliseum, and then it comes out later on social media for everybody to see. You know what I'm saying? But Chad, what's going on, my friend? No doubt. How you doing, sir? And so when you look back at it, I just think they did an amazing job for him, man. They did an amazing job of letting him kind of go out how he wanted to go out. It was in the Greensboro Coliseum. Greensboro, they called it Thank You Sting Day, and now every March 3rd, it's going to be, Thank You Sting Day or whatever it is now going forward. That's where he started, and that's where he ended in a way, with Jim Crockett. He started there and he goes out there. I thought it was a great venue for them. It kind of gave you the old WCW vibe, and it was a hell of a way for him to go out. And I don't know what else they could have done to make it any better other than, I guess, making him win the heavyweight title, which wouldn't have made sense, for the company. But he goes out as the champion, and then during the scrum, Tony Khan says the tag team titles are now vacant.